Okay, how's it going, everybody? This is 1 second. Okay, so we're continuing on. Only doing more so of a half a version of this 8.5 part 8.5, and we're going to be continuing on in this book. Wallace Thurman's The Black of the Berry, and we're continuing on from page 80. So far, it's been Emma Lou's just trying to. I guess she's taking a break from working, and now she's just trying to figure out things, figure out the world, perhaps. So we're continuing on. Okay. Also she ran back into the guy who danced with her, but as we understand, he has pity on her. But she doesn't really know that. She just kind of thinks, hey, he liked her and stuff like that, and she's his type. But yeah, let's continue forward. May I have this dance? A well-modulated deep voice. A slender stripling arrayed in brown with a dark brown face. He had dimples. They danced, and Malou was having difficulty in keeping track of Alva. He seemed to be consciously striving to elude her. He seemed to be deliberately darting in among clusters of couples, where he would remain hidden for some time, only to reappear far ahead or behind her. Her partner was congenial. He introduced himself, but she did not hear his name, for at that moment, Alva and his partner glided close by. Emma Lou actually shoved the supple, slender boy she was dancing with in Alva's direction. She mustn't lose him this time. She must speak. They very close to one another. They almost collided. Alva looked into her face. She smiled and spoke. He acknowledged her salute, but stared at her, frankly perplexed, and there was no recognition in his face as he moved away, bending his head close to that of his partner. The better to hear something she was asking him. The slender brown boy clung to Emma Lou's arm, treated her to a soda, and at her request, piloted her around the promenade. She saw Alva sitting in a box in the balcony and suggested to her companion that they paraded around the balcony for a while. He assented. He was lonesome too. First, summer in New York, just graduated from Virginia Union University, going to Columbia School of Law next year. Nice boy, but no appeal. Too supple. They passed by Alva's box. He wasn't there. Two other couples and the girl he had been dancing with were there. Emma Lou and her companion walked the length of the balcony, then retraced their steps just in time to see Alva coming around the corner carrying a cup of water. She watched the rhythmic swing of his legs, like symmetrical pendulums, perfectly shaped in. She admired once more the intriguing lines of his body and pleasing foreignness of his face. As they met, she smiled at him. She He was certain he did not know her, but he stopped and was polite, feeling that he must find out who she was and where he had met her. How do you do? Emma Lou held out her hand. She shifted the cup of water from his right hand to his left. I'm glad to see you again. They shook hands. His clasp was warm, his palm soft and sweaty. The supple lad stepped to one side. Emma Lou was speaking now. Have often wondered if we would meet again. Alva wanted to laugh. He could not imagine who this girl with the purple powdered skin was. Where had he seen her? She must be mistaking him for someone else. Well, he was game. He spoke sincerely. And I, too, have wanted to see you. Emma Lou couldn't blush, but she almost blubbered with joy. Perhaps we'll have a dance together. My God, thought Alva. She's a quick worker. Oh, certainly. Where can I find you? Downstairs on the promenade near the center boxes. The one after this? This seemed to be the easiest way out. He could easily dodge her later. Yes. And she moved away, the supple lad clinging to her arm again. Who's the spade, Alva? Geraldine had seen him stop to talk to her. Damned if I know. Oh, sure, you know who she is. You danced with her at Smalls. Braxton hadn't forgotten. Well, I never. Is that it? Laughter all around as he told about their first meeting, but he didn't dodge her, for Geraldine and Braxton riled him with their pertinacious badinage. He felt that they were making more fun of him than of her, and to show them just little how he minded their kidding, he stalked off to find her. She was waiting. The slim brown stripling swayed beside her, importuning her not to wait longer. He didn't want to lose her. She didn't want to lose Alva, and was glad when they danced off together. Who's your boyfriend? Alva had fortified himself with gin. His breath smelled familiar. Just an acquaintance. She couldn't let him know that she had come here unescorted. I didn't think you'd remember me. Of course I did. How could I forget you? Smooth tongue phrases with a double meaning. I didn't forget you. Emma Lou was being coy. I have often looked for you. Look for him? My God. What an impression he must have made. He wondered what he had said to her before. Plunge in, boy, plunge. The black of the berry. He chuckled to himself. Orchestra played Sky Blue, Blue Skies, as an especial favor to her. Alva telling her his name and giving her his card, and asking her to phone him someday. Alva close to her and being nice, his arms tightening about her. She would call him tomorrow. Ecstasy soon ended too soon. The music stopped. He thanked her for the dance and left her standing on the promenade by the side of the waiting slender stripling. She danced with him twice more and then let him take her home. At 10 the next morning, Emma Lou called Alva. Braxton came to the telephone. Alva's going to work. Who is it? People should have got more sense than to call that early in the morning. He never got up till noon. Emma Lou was being apologetic. Could you tell me what time he will be in? About 6:30. Who shall I say called? This is his roommate. Oh, I'll call him later. Thank you. Braxton swore. Why in the hell does Alva give so many damn women his phone number? 6:35. The roommate had said about 6:30. She called again. He came to the phone. She thought his voice was more harsh than usual. Oh, I'm all right. Only tired. Did you work hard? I always work hard. I just thought I'd call. Just glad you did. Call me again sometime. Goodbye. Said too quickly. No chance to say, when will I see you again? She went home, got into bed, and cried herself to sleep. Arlene returned 2 days ahead of schedule. Things settled back into routine. The brown stripling had taken Emma Lou out twice, but upon her refusal to submit herself to him, had gone away in a huff and had not returned. She surmised that it was the first time he had made such a request of anyone. He did it so ineptly. Work, home, talks, theaters downtown, during the afternoon, and thoughts of Alva. Finally, just had to talk to him again. He came to the phone. Hello? Who? I'm Lou. Where have you been? I've been wondering where you were. She was shy, afraid she might be too bold. But Alva had had his usual 3 glasses before dinner, gin. He helped her out. When can I see you, Sugar? Sugar. He had called her Sugar. She told him where she worked. He was to meet her after the theater that very night. How many nights a week you gonna have that little ink spitter up here? Listen here, Brax. You have who you want up here, don't you? That ain't it. I just don't like to see you tied up with a broad like that. Why not? She's just as good as the rest. You know what they say, the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. The only thing a black woman is good for is to make money for a brown-skinned papa. I guess I don't know that. Will Braxton was satisfied now. That's the case. He had faith in Alva's wisdom. Part 4. Print Party. Saturday evening, Alva had urged her to hurry up town from work. He was going to take her on a party with some friends of his. This was the first time he had ever asked her to go to any sort of social affair with him. She had never met any of his friends save Braxton, who scarcely spoke of her, and never before had Alva suggested taking her to any sort of social gathering, either public or semi public. He often took her to various motion pictures, both downtown and in Harlem, and at least 3 nights a week. He would call for her at the theater and escort her to Harlem. On these occasions, they often went to Chinese restaurants or to ice cream parlors before going home, but usually they would go to City College Park, find an empty bench in a dark corner where they could sit and spoonful before retiring either to her room or out to Alva's. Emma Lou had, long before this, suggested going to a dance or to a party, but Alva had always countered that he never attended such affairs during the summer months, that he stayed away from them for precisely the same reason that he stayed away from work, namely because it was too hot. Dancing, said he, was a matter of calisthenics, and calisthenics will work. Therefore, like any other physical exercise, was taboo during hot weather. Alva sensed that sooner or later Emma Lou would become aware of his real reason for not taking her out among his friends. He realized that as one color conscious as she appeared to be, would at some point, at some not so distant date, jump to what for him would be uncomfortable conclusions. All right, sorry, but that's it for this half part. So I'll continue the next one pretty later. All right, thank you. Have a good day.